really means to live life golden. Yeah, we're golden, baby girl, we're golden. Yeah, about to see it shine, 'cause we're golden.
And today we'll be having a look at Orbis. But before we do, Orbis was brought to my attention by members of the Crypto Nebula community, ICOExplainervideos.com. They actually made the Orbis explainer video that is featured on their website, and they are actually coming on board as channel sponsors. So before we continue, let's do the official bit. Today's review is brought to you by ICOExplainervideos.com. If you're looking for a premium provider of ICO or blockchain animated explainer videos, then these are the guys for you, and you'll be able to find them in the description below. Now, taking a look at the Orbis ICO, at a glance, Orbis is proposing an open network of Bluetooth communities accessible to users around the world via the web. So essentially this network will enable Internet of Things related applications as well as improving overall digital infrastructure. And these apps will be purchasable on a Orbis specific app store. And while you'll pay for those apps with the OBT token, users are also rewarded for being on the network with OBT token. But the first thing that popped into my head really when I read Bluetooth, I honestly thought Bluetooth was, yes, it's relevant in terms of our iPhones or our Androids, but maybe we don't use it for much. However, having a look at the explainer video and the white paper, it became pretty apparent that using the already established technology of Bluetooth, it can actually enable offline transactions, which hadn't occurred to me, as well, of course, as data sharing. Which, interestingly enough, actually means that this technology using Bluetooth nodes would be very, very applicable for information transfer infrastructure over large surface areas. And specifically, I'm thinking amusement parks, but also malls and stadiums. So I suppose the question comes, why do this? The cost of Wi-Fi infrastructure for, say, a large mall or an amusement park, I imagine would be immense, absolutely immense. However, if you have use for a local network in those scenarios, so let's take a mall for example, using an Orbis enabled application on the Orbis network, you could at the mall have an app which communicates to every single user that has downloaded the application, relevant deals that are happening in the mall at that time, suggested eating locations based upon the individual's big data food preferences. That's something useful to have specific to that local area. However, to push those notifications and to offer that localized app functionality in the mall itself, you either A, have to have the individual continuously consuming their own data, or B, spend quite a lot of money on data Wi-Fi infrastructure for the building itself. So it's my thought that that's actually quite a consumer-friendly use case. And really the magic for this technology comes into play with what developers decide to implement using Bluetooth nodes and using Orbis network. However, consider using Bluetooth nodes over a large surface area for something like a stadium to calculate seating time. So now instead of putting in the stadium location into Google Maps and getting a brief rundown of how long it's going to take you to get there. So if you're going to a stadium for a concert or a sports match or some sort of festival, you can not only get an accurate assessment from Google Maps as to how long it's going to take you to get there, but then through implementing Bluetooth nodes, the Bluetooth nodes that Orbis are working with can, say, monitor foot traffic in any given area. Google Maps will tell you how long it's going to take to get to the location, but it's not going to tell you how long it's going to take to sit down to get to your spot. These Bluetooth nodes can aid in that task. And again, being such a large surface area, you don't need to have Wi-Fi implemented through an entire stadium. You only need to have the Bluetooth nodes within range of one another. Conversely, the same principle applies to theme parks, theme park rides and attractions. And what interests me the most is not necessarily the applications I can come up with, but the applications that truly technologically savvy individuals will come up with. There is also a microtransaction component where users can either A, pay, or B, be paid for given tasks. So you can set up a task where you can earn OBT tokens for sharing your data with other Orbis users in the local area. So it's an interesting one, and it's very much opened my eyes to the relevance of Bluetooth. Again, I read Bluetooth and I went, oh, it's a bit 1990s. Then I started considering, what I actually use Bluetooth for today, and it is still a relevant technology. And it's not a space where I'm aware of much innovation. But moving on to the team, Jason Chow, there has been a touch of criticism towards Jason just because he's young. I think that is misguided, especially in this space, a space that is meant to be encouraging innovation. And I feel like Orbis and Jason's vision is doing exactly that. And having a look at the team, it seems as if Jason has surrounded himself with individuals that are geared to assist in the delivery of this vision. So having a look at the lead software engineer, 20 years in private and defense industries, working with General Dynamics IT. Stephen Yang, so 3-year ranking competitor at the AUVSI San Diego Autonomous Underwater Vehicle competition. So it's to do with robotics. So I imagine he'll have something to do with the Bluetooth technology. And in terms of their marketing strategies, we've got John here, growth marketer with 10 years experience leading high impact marketing campaigns. So you could argue that the team is perhaps a little bit sparse. I would always offer the counterpoint that if the team seems young or inexperienced, who is advising them? How are they making up for any potential weaknesses? And it seems like they've got two relatively powerful advisors on board. So Matt Hunt, in terms of marketing and in terms of encouraging adoption, 2014 to 2016 at Coinbase. We all know Coinbase, a partner of blockchain companies. And unfortunately, I can't read the business advisor's name, the chairman of Rytech Technology, with over 500 employees and 30 plus years veteran of Chinese business, commerce, and electronics manufacture, which are all relevant areas to what Orbis is trying to accomplish. So I think that they could be making up for any potential weaknesses or any potential inexperiences with some pretty solid looking advisors. But of course, do your own due diligence. Having a look at the roadmap, obviously in ICO stage right now, exchanges to follow, Orbis store development, blockchain OBT development, Android and iOS alpha testing. So we're still in very early days here with this particular project. And just a quick look at the token economics. Total supply 40 million OBT with a 12 million USD hard cap. So that doesn't even put them in the top 400 on CoinMarketCap. So I think that is quite reasonable for this particular project. Now, the blockchain itself is actually going to be on the Neo network, which I am quite excited about. 1 OBT equals 24 cents, and the ICO date will be the 3rd of March through to the 31st. So it's certainly